Battlers, we are back. Welcome to another episode of the United Podcast Roster Review Edition. Well, Roster Review is all about breaking down the squad and making sure everything is in the right place, exactly like our mates do it above and beyond construction and developments. Whether it's fixing up your home or building something brand new, Battlers, they'll make sure there are zero weak links in your lineup. And the best part, it's as easy as ABC, baby. So if you need quality construction work that will not leave you second guessing, hit up our mates at ABC Developments because they will go above and beyond for you and will not drop the ball. Well, that's right, Battlers. This week is Voice for Mining round, and the Wars are coming to town. After, let's be honest, we've been absolutely smashed in the media this week, getting absolute headlines galore, our club. But the boys, they'll be keen to do what they do best, and that's right, to run out back home at McDonald Jones Stadium wearing the Miners kit this week and doing what they do best. The Wars, however, have defied even the harshest of critics and find themselves well entrenched within the top four of the premiership thus far, with a bunch of injuries, and they've somehow managed to overcome that. So they are going to be a finals-bound team that come to town this week. But look, plenty of talking points. That's right. We've got one of the most epic United news segments of all time with Adam O'Brien, Kalyn Ponga. Plenty to discuss and talk about there. Start firing in your comments and your thoughts about that. We'll take a look at this week's player battle matchup. We'll look at your grain-fed lock-it-ins. Make sure you start firing those in also, as well as answering your get-out-of-life fire safety training burning questions. So, Battlers, sit back and get ready as we take a look at the Adam O'Briens and outs of this week's upcoming Voice of Mining round clash against the Wars. Let's go. All right, first things first this week, a huge shout out to the NRL for personally inviting me down to go get my hands on a little bit of a sneak peek. One of the very select few people in the country that have managed to play the upcoming Rugby League 26 video game. It was such a blast. Guru, the Hello Sport boys, Winston Neville, we had an absolute blast in there. We're in there for a good couple of hours at Rugby League headquarters. Got the facial scan. Who knows? Could I be an unlockable character in Rugby League 26? You'll have to wait and see. But yeah, no, it was super fun. I was so grateful. So again, a huge shout out to the NRL for getting me down there. I was so stoked. You couldn't believe. What was my face like, Lou, when I saw the message and went, Jesus, the NRL's reached out to me. What have I done wrong?
Yeah, that was my first thought.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, I know. You get a sinking feeling, don't you? You go, oh God, what have I done? What have I said? But nah, seriously, the team down there at Rugby League HQ, Harry and Tanika, cannot thank you guys enough. You guys were more than hospitable, getting us in there. Big Ant Studios, those guys, just to go through and just show you the process. These guys spent 2 months, Lou. They spent 2 months over in England just doing all the facial scan of all the female players and the male players over there. God knows how many weeks they spent getting all the boys done and all their women athletes over here. Just go show the monumental task. And I'll tell you what, I look pretty darn good as a video game character, right?
Yeah, you're pretty good. You're
pretty good.
All right.
They said, oh, you could also feature in some other games. I was saying I definitely gave off some strong Viking vibes. Maybe.
Arthas?
Yeah. Funny story, actually, Battlers. I went viral once before, about 8 years ago. I walked into an EB Games, and this bloke, shout out to all the World of Warcraft players out there. I'll have to post this up. Anyways, I'm out there. I can't even remember what I was buying. Back when I used to do a lot of gaming. Don't get much time to do that anymore. But I'm in there, and this bloke goes, boy, oh boy, mate, you are a striking resemblance to the great Arthas Menethil.
He wanted to marry you.
Of Warcraft. And I was like, really? Anyways, so I did a split. I took a photo, just a quick selfie myself, put his face on one side, mine on the other, and it went fucking viral, didn't it? When it went on Reddit, it went everywhere. It went
it was like the biggest thirst trap ever.
Yeah, I had a lot of girl gamers chasing me, Battlers. They probably still are. Probably still wondering where the Australian Arthas went. But yes, I was a big deal. I was a big deal there for a week or so. I was going absolutely nuts. World of Warcraft lookalike. But yes, seriously, huge shout out to Big Ant Studios. It was an absolute blast playing a game. I'll tell you what was really fun. The players look exceptional. I'm going to drop some game day footage because, couldn't release any footage of the game until tomorrow morning. But geez, I was carving it up on that lethal left. Boy, oh boy. Greggy Marzu, KPP, Brady Best. I couldn't tell you how many times I put 13 plus on the Broncos. I was slaying them. I was having such a good time, which leads me to the next point, the giveaway battlers. That's right. Apologies too. I've totally skipped that. Why we couldn't go live. After a massive day at Rugby League HQ, I was bunkered down at Sydney Airport, got all my notes together, came back here, and Telstra have struck again. Must be a bit because it wigged out too, didn't it, on the night's watch? So I don't know what's going on.
It wigged out 2 days ago too when we randomly did that other video.
Yeah, it's just been playing up. So fingers crossed, no issues tonight. But yeah, we just could not get it going, and we thought, it's going to be way too late. We're going to save it for tonight. But let's do it. Let's jump in. Huge shout out to all the battlers who entered in the giveaway. So please, the number you're all locked in here in the little spin wheel. When your name comes, make sure you shoot me a message. I'll give you the deal, and then you tell me if you're an Xbox, PlayStation person, whatever you are, and I will get you your copy of Rugby League 26. So let's go. Let's kick it off. Who is going to be the lucky winner? The wheel is going. What weird and wonderful name we're going to get here. Oh, Real Knight _77. That's real as in REEL Knight _77. Congratulations. You are now the proud owner of a Rugby League 26 copy. Make sure you get in contact with me. And yes, we'll get all the rest sorted out. Don't worry, battlers. If you missed out this time, we're going to be doing more giveaways. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We want to do more and more of this stuff for you guys. So stay tuned. Cannot wait to get my copy tomorrow, Lou. Unfortunately, I didn't chuck a sick day. I couldn't. That's the only problem when you live stream. They can watch you at work and go, hang on, you weren't fucking sick. It's the downsides of being a live streamer, battlers. So I cannot wait tomorrow night, get my hands on that, play a little bit of Rugby League 26. So shout out to the battler. That's Real REEL Knight, KNIGHT _77. Shoot me a message and I will arrange that for you. But yes, so all right, first things first this week, brought to you by Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts, which is Newcastle the Hunters and Lake Macquarie's highest rated mixed martial arts gym with more than 350 5-star Google reviews. Beginners are welcome and encouraged into their safe, inclusive, and most importantly, battlers. It's all about fun, isn't it? Fun training center. Head coach Jess Langer's experience includes being directly trained by UFC veterans as well as under the wrestling coach of the Sydney Roosters. Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts is centrally located right in the guts of Cardiff, right beside the Cardiff train station, offering day and night classes for kids, teens, and adults, including Muay Thai kickboxing, gi and no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and mixed martial arts, of course. So make sure you go ahead and book your free trial by visiting their website at newcastlemma.com.au. And I'll tell you, you'll be kicking ass in no time. Just like our club has been absolutely kicked in the ass by the media this week, hasn't it? It has been absolutely pounded. Talking about pounding, you're going to want to pound that like button. Wherever you're watching this live stream, I'm going to guarantee there's going to be so many.
How about that segue?
Beautiful segue. And the WAS supporters, the WAS supporters love the United, and I love you too. We all love the WAS here.
Yeah, we've got a few in the comments.
Do we? Oh, of course we do. I love having you in here. These episodes are generally massive because they love coming in here and they're so gracious. But yes, so you're going to pound that like button. All right. You're going to pound it. You're going to hit it harder than a Brisbane 5'8" hitting an Uber. That's what you're going to do for me. And you're going to go across. If you're listening to this, make sure you leave me a big old 5-star review. All right. Here's your kick up the date to get that done. Okay. And whatever social media platform you're wasting your time on, I can guarantee you we are there. So make sure you go look us up, give us a follow. Really does help us out. Seriously. Those thumbs up, battlers, they're going up. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Really does go a long, long way for us. All right, battlers, let's jump into it. This is probably going to want to be the most epic night of news segments I've ever done. And I'll tell you what, the little trip down to Rugby League HQ took my mind off a little bit. When the plane landed and I had to turn it back on airplane mode, my heart was sinking. I'm going, what has happened in the hour and a half I've been up in the air? Am I coming down? I just don't know. All the breaking news articles, I'm just holding my breath, turning on. Is my phone going to light up? I'm going to have all these messages and welfare checks, but luckily, nothing yet. But yes, let's do it. Let's kick it off with Kalyn Ponga, our captain, superstar, Dally M winner, Kalyn Ponga. Now, Kalyn Ponga, let's just put it out there. He is signed with the Newcastle Knights until the end of the 2027 season on $1.4 million a year. All right, let's just put that in there. He's signed to the end of 2027. Now, reportedly so. I don't think anything has been actually confirmed concrete yet, but he's looked to have engaged a New Zealand-based rugby agent who is exploring options for him to potentially play in a European competition or a New Zealand Rugby Sevens team, or I've even seen some stuff floating around about this breakaway, Super League-esque rugby competition. I think it's called R360, like R360, backed by Saudi billionaires. So maybe we got Saudi billionaires to worry about. We live in a timeline where now we have to worry about Saudi billionaires coming in and raiding our premier fullback. Now, yes, I'm still trying to make sense of all this. I know we did the emergency podcast the night before I flew down to Rugby League HQ. Still, it was very early days. Nothing really set in concrete. I guess the thing now that we're no one's really come out and addressed it. Like, let's be real. Kalyn Ponga, he's injured at the moment. Obviously, ruled out for the remainder of the season with that Liz Frank injury. You would think if none of this was true, if this was complete and utter bullshit, someone, Andre or himself, would just front up and go, nah, this is just an absolute beat up. It's a G up. My full focus on the Knights and rehabbing and looking to 2026. But the silence is kind of deafening. It's been more than 24 hours now with this news, and no one's come out and denied it. So I don't know. Make of that what you will. What's the old saying? Actions speak louder than words. Yeah, it's what's the general sentiment? Give me some comments on what I want to get a bit of a gauge on what the battlers are feeling. Is it some on both sides, or were you a little bit
waiting for a bit more to come through?
Yeah, okay. Let me know your thoughts, because I think it seems a little bit split. A lot of people are suggesting we're going to be better off without him. What's the here? I've got some statistics here now. Fox, I think Fox put out some. Now, look, here's the games with Kalyn Ponga in the team. We played 137 games with Kalyn Ponga, winning 61 of those games, losing 78 for a win percentage of 45%. And I think average points scored is 19.2, right? Now, games without Kalyn Ponga is 49 games total, 20 wins, 27 losses, 41% win rate. So there's a 4% difference between with or without him. Average points scored 19. So very similar.
This seems to be the most take from Alex. Where there's smoke, there's fire, especially this much smoke.
Yeah, a lot of smoke, isn't there? A lot of smoke. Yeah, as I said, the fact that neither party's come out and addressed it.
Paddy says KP needs to come out and address it.
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? It's a big distraction. It's going to be, I'm going to get to that in a little bit in the course of the game. This is the stuff you do not want coming into let's be honest, we are now in do or die territory. The injuries that we got heading into this game, the run home that we have, it's a home game. This is a must-win game. And these sort of headlines are the last thing that we need at the moment. We do not need this distraction and this much noise brought to us.
Hang said, I reckon if we unlikely make it to the finals, he might change his mind and be really motivated to prove a point.
Oh, Pang, I love your optimism, mate. I really do. Like this will be, if we make finals, this will be an absolute masterstroke by Adam O'Brien. This is the toughest. We've had to scrape home a couple times, but we haven't missed this many troops. And I don't think we've had this hard a run before, even in either year. Even last year when it came the do or die game against the Dolphins last year, I feel like it was a cruisier run home for us to scrape in. But
Cully said, I'd prefer KP stays, but have absolute confidence in Fletch if KP does leave.
Yeah, there's a nice insurance policy there, isn't there, with Fletcher Sharp? I just can't entertain the idea. I should be the ultimate professional and put myself in the frame of mind if Kalyn Ponga was to leave, but it just hurts me to even say that. My heart stops for a beat when I even utter those words. Like, you can see behind me, Kalyn Ponga. I got Kalyn Ponga. Like, he's literally 3 of the 4 walls his face is in. I walk in his bloody blow-up dolls, cut out fucking bobbleheads, you name it. He's everywhere in this bar. I can't walk into this bar without literally, he's either in my peripheral visions or he's staring right at me, Battlers.
You Oprah Winfrey, Kalyn Ponga.
Oh,
You get a KP. You get a KP.
You get a, yeah, it's literally just, it's KP everywhere in here. But so, yes, it's going to be a very interesting couple of days. It's going to be interesting to sort of see what, if the club comes out and sort of addresses this over the next couple of days, or if some further developments come to be. But yeah, as I said, doubling back down, the fact we haven't really heard from the Kalyn Ponga camp or him himself, to put this to bed, has got me worried. It's got me worried, and I think a lot of pundits out there are thinking it was only a matter of when, not if, Kalyn Ponga would ultimately decide to move on. And does this speak? It'll tie into my next point a little bit. If him having no confidence in our club, that a lot of people seem to feel he's wasting the best years of his career at the Newcastle Knights, which breaks my heart to think about that. But is that deep down? Is that how he's feeling? That he doesn't have confidence that this club can ultimately win him a premiership? You can get the pieces around him. So, yes. Stay tuned, though. Stay tuned. Let's hope we get some good news soon and we can put this to bed. Let's hope we can put it to bed. All right, the next big one. Adam O'Brien, Battlers. Adam O'Brien has also been dominating the headlines. I think it was only about an hour or two before the massive Kalyn Ponga news dropped. The Adam O'Brien news dropped that the Newcastle Knights were potentially looking to move on from him. Now, as of recording right now, shout out to Isaac. Great new up-and-coming creator, journalist, ABC journalist on the on TikTok. On Instagram. Put out a reel who's collaborated. So if you want to go find him, just jump on my page and you'll see all the breaking news stuff he's collaborated with me on. He is now, Dave Riccio has come out and said, apparently, reportedly, the Newcastle Knights have given Adam O'Brien until the end of 2025. There's going to be no sacking or, cutting his tenure short this year. They're going to give him till the end of 2025. Now, there's a lot of speculation around Blake Green. Now, apparently Blake Green has also reportedly applied for the head coaching gig at the Castleford Tigers over in the Super League. I find the Blake Green one a bit odd too. The fact, and this is no knock on Blake Green, but I just feel like for a club that has the worst attacking statistics and just the eye test, the attack has been very, very clunky, hasn't it? And that's really falls on Blake Green's shoulders. I find that really bizarre. When you would look, say, at Brian McDermott and go, well, even though the club is struggling defensively, we have been awesome. He would be a far stronger candidate to me than Blake Green. And I find it odd that a lot of people are backing Blake Green as the guy. He's never had a head coaching role before. If he's the guy that really ultimately holds the keys and is writing the blueprint for our attack this year, I don't know if I'd want that in my resume. But reportedly he's applied for a head coach role over the Castleford Tigers. So they might put a line through him. Now, also too, take this with a grain of salt, but allegedly Kalyn Ponga is very, very interested in having Josh Hannay come in as coach. Now, there is a little bit of a tie in. Josh Hannay, whilst Peter Parr was working with the Cowboys, they did work together. So there's a little bit of a connection there. And Peter Parr is looked to set to take on the CEO role that will be vacated by Phil Gardner in the near future. I don't know when exactly, but I think you'll find that's gonna come to be as well. So maybe that's where that link up's coming.
I was going to say this for burning questions, but I'll put it in here now. Carly's asked, do we believe KP will stay if Hannay becomes coach?
I think so. And why I think that, Carly, is, this isn't me beating down on Adam O'Brien. I find it very, very odd. Isn't it very odd that the news that Adam O'Brien news came about just before the Kalyn Ponga stuff? It's almost, to me, the more I think about it, it's more as if like the Knights are being proactive in their approach, right? Let's paint the picture. Let's say, for instance, the Kalyn Ponga news broke. Kalyn Ponga, signs, engages rugby agent and potentially looking to lead the Knights to go play elsewhere. And then the news broke about Adam O'Brien. It almost seemed like the Knights were playing catch up, like they were going, shit, okay, we don't want to lose KP. So it's kind of like KP forced a hand. So in this way, they control the narrative a little bit by going, okay, we want to make the first move. Let's put it out there. How that news got out, whether there was a meeting with Phil Gardner and Adam O'Brien, I don't know. But someone's got wind of something. As someone said, there's smoke, there's fire. There's got to be something. So whether the Knights are going, shit, we want to front foot this. This news about KP is going to be breaking. We want this out first. We want this out. We want to control the narrative, and we want to feel like we're in control and show KP we're in control. And by that, I mean going, all right, let's make the move that, we're willing to move on Adam O'Brien to keep Kalyn Ponga. Because let's be honest, I think if the Newcastle Knights had to pick or choose one, it's going to be Kalyn Ponga, right? I don't think any of us are thinking they're going to choose Adam O'Brien over Kalyn Ponga. If it came to that, I'm not saying it is, but I think if that hard decision had to be made, and I think they would do that. I think to appease Kalyn Ponga, they're going to make that move. I just feel it can't be coincidence that both these things came out so quickly amongst one another. But again, I've got nothing but my gut telling me that. But yeah, I just feel like the Newcastle Knights are going, yeah, okay, we want to put it out there that we mean business. We're willing to move on our head coach if it means it's going to keep Kalyn Ponga happy and make him feel like, he's a better chance of ultimately winning a premiership with this club. Because let's be honest, that's what these boys are playing for. They're playing the win comps. He's a hyper-competitive guy. I know he's a very chilled out guy, like Matty John says, walks to the beat of his own drum. He's a little bit different in that regard, but there's no denying the guy's an absolute competitor. Super talented. He just doesn't show it in the ways that many others genuinely would. And that's, but a lot of people, I think we've gotten used to Kalyn Ponga. It was a big criticism of Kalyn Ponga before. He was a bit too cool for school, and some of the answers almost seemed like he didn't really care. He was a bit nonchalant, but deep down he does. It's just, I think we've come to know Kalyn a bit, and he's matured a little bit, especially as a captain. But yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here, particularly in the off-season, whether the Newcastle Knights going, look, Dill Brown's coming. If we want to keep Kalyn Ponga, Fletcher Sharp coming back, Dill Lucas, do we just want a hard reset? We want to keep KP happy. Let's just, start 2026 off right and bring in a Hannay. But I'm so surprised that maybe, what's his name? Brad Arthur's name's not thrown around a bit more. His son's playing here. The only weird thing is I've touched on it before, is Adam O'Brien and Brad Arthur are really good mates. They go back a ways. I think, what was it? Adam O'Brien was looking after Matty Arthur when he was still shitting in nappies. So, there's some history there. So do you really, I don't know if it would be weird if Adam O'Brien was to be moved on, would Brad Arthur even want the gig? There's all sorts of so many moving parts to this, but yes. You let me know. You let me know what you would do. What do you want to see to happen? Do you want to see the club move on from both of them? Do you want to see the club hang on to both of them, get Dill Brown in and see what happens there? Comment away. Let me know what the best case scenario you think is moving forward for the Newcastle Knights heading into 2026. All right, that'll do it for this week's Night of News. Some absolute big ones. I'm sure these are going to be popping up on every show now. I think we're going to be doing rolling developments on this stuff. So stay tuned. There's going to be still plenty to come about, and we'll sink our teeth into a little bit more.
I almost feel like the podcast's over already.
I've made some phone calls to some people who may know a little bit more than I do. So I'm doing my homework in the background for you battlers. All right. I can't reveal my sources, but I do have a couple of contacts I can call to try and get a little bit of inside information for you. So the more I know, the more you'll know. All right, let's do it. Let's kick it off. Let's take a look at the team list name for this week's upcoming Voice of Mining clash against the Warriors. That's right, Sunday, 4:00. Doubleheader too with the girls. How good is it? The girls rocking the mining jersey too. Huge ad campaign. Shout out to Scotty and the team at New South Wales Mining, killing it again. It's so good. It's really become ingrained in the Newcastle Knights culture now, the mining kit. I was told too. I tried to confirm this, that if the mining kit is available in Rugby League 26, and apparently it is. The version I was playing wasn't like the full-blown version where you can get all the alternative jerseys. So I went trying looking for myself. I wasn't able to get to it. But apparently it is. Talking to one of the guys there, for all the Indigenous jerseys and all the rest of it in there, it should be in there. So stay tuned for that too. All right, let's kick it off. Let's take a look at the spine this week for the Newcastle Knights. Dane Gagai named at fullback this week, with Jacko Hastings and Jack Cogger back in the halves, and Jaden Brayley this week finds himself off the bench, back in the starting hooker. Comment away what you think about that. Moving along to the Wars, we have Tane Tuapike, Chanel Harris-Tavita at 5'8". Tanner Boyd filling in, doing a really good job in the absence of Luke Metcalf, who's ruled out for the season, and Wade Egan rounding out the spine for the Wars. Now, Dan Gagai, he was absolutely exceptional last week filling in. It was a late shift. We also, this time last week I was talking about the big job Fletcher Hunt had on his hands to try and, what I was trying to explain, the organising part of playing fullback. We all see with our eyes what the boys do in attack, but the organisation, being able to read the play as a half and organising your defensive line was going to be a massive task for Fletcher Hunt. And ultimately, it was a great move. It was a great move to get Dane back there, experienced guy, even though he hadn't played, a full 80 minutes at fullback since 2018, which is crazy. And yeah, it was said, the guy's super competitive. Age is just a number. Versatility, just another tick in the box for Dane Gagai to keep this guy at the club. I think it's a no-brainer at this point. Let's hope we get some news regarding that soon too. So I think we're all sitting here thinking, yep, is he a Kalyn Ponga type fullback? No. Is he a Razor Sharp type fullback? No. Is he going to be a Fletcher Hunt type fullback? No, he's not. But what you're going to get a guy that's going to defend his bloody ass off. He's always going to have a crack. You guarantee he's going to get over 200 run meters. That's just Dane. Dane loves it. Dane loves that shit. He'll just go after it. Hard-working guy. For a guy of his age to keep doing what he's doing and keep turning up is absolutely incredible. So, yeah, looking for another really, really good performance by Dane Gagai. Jacko Hastings and Jack Cogger. Very disappointing game last week. I know they were up against the Melbourne Storm, but we really needed them to really spark something in attack. It just didn't happen. It was really only off the back of Dominic Young that we got any points. Some brilliant individual efforts by Dom. And again, just, even though it looked like a messy kind of an offload, and it fell in our favour for Fletcher Hunt to score. That was it. So we really need these boys to start creating a little bit more. It just didn't look good. The kicking game was quite off. So let's hope we've doubled down on that. I know Adam O'Brien spoke about it in the pre-game last week. That's what they were really honed in on was their fifth tackle plays. They want to triple down on that this week because it didn't look really good last week. So let's hope we see some more from those two boys this week. Jaden Brayley. I fucking love Jaden Brayley starting this week. Yeah, I think he's been really, really good. Probably a little bit of a down week last week. Came off the bench, more limited minutes, but weeks prior, I think he was sensational, Jaden Brayley. So let's hope, he comes in and does a really, really good job. Now, the spine for the Warriors. Now, the big out for them, obviously, Luke Metcalf, they lost a few weeks ago. Massive out for them. But this is the story of the Wars. And you know what? They are such an impressive outfit. If there's any team that I don't mind losing to, it's the Warriors. They talk about completely changing, ultimately, the DNA of your club. Let's be honest. The Warriors, we all grew up with the Warriors being such and I say this all due respect, the old saying, they are now gritty, not pretty, but they used to be like a real pretty team. They used to be a team that loved blowing teams off the park. But when it came to getting down and dirty in the trenches, and just getting in the grind of the game, they kind of didn't suit them. But Andrew Webster, shout out to him. He is an absolute gun coach. You guys have got a good one. I don't think I need to tell Wars supporters how good a coach they got. He is superb. He's taken a team that I think on paper most people would look at and go, "There's no way." If someone had showed you this roster now, and the injuries they've got, and where they're sitting now, fourth on the ladder is absolutely fucking incredible. It really, really is. So Tanner Boyd coming in, more a conservative type half. Luke Metcalf was having a breakout season, unfortunately struck down by season-ending injury. But Tanner Boyd, coming in, more that conservative type, great kicking game, looks him slotted right in. So again, kudos to the coaching staff over the Warriors. He seems to have plugged in, done a really, really good job there. So not too much of a drop-off last week there. Wade Egan's not having career high games, but still a very, very crafty hooker. He got a high ceiling on him, Wade Egan. He's got 2023 Wade Egan. He's not probably playing at those heights, but still a very, very good hooker. But what I do want to talk to you about is how the Warriors are going to want to play and how they have been winning games this season, Battlers. Because as I was saying, they're a real gritty team, not a pretty team. And I went through and I looked at all the statistics, right, for the Warriors, and like us, we look at ours. We're great at run meters. We're great at breaking tackles, all that stuff. And then we looked at it and going, well, why are the Newcastle Knights doing all this, but it doesn't convert to points? And we sort of broke that down a few weeks ago about the playbook and not capitalizing on fit tackle options. We can get down there, and we defend really well and all that stuff, but we're not converting points. But the Warriors, now trying to understand what Andrew Webster's side all about in 2025, it starts with one word, and that's possession. This team prioritizes controlling the football above all else. They're currently ranked first in the NRL for possession, holding an average of 82% across their games, which is an absolutely monumental number for completion rates. Sorry, that's 82% completion rate across, not 82% possession. It tells you straight away, Webster wants his team to win the possession battle every single week, and that's something they generally do. Vast majority of their games, they're winning that possession battle. Now, a key to that is not just where they get the ball, it's also where they're handing over the ball. They want to focus and dominate on those transitions from attack to defense and vice versa. So think kick pressure, kick chase, making sure that all their sets end really well and it ends on their terms. They're not just trying to blow you off the park. They're trying to get you out of the game. And as I was saying before, very gritty, not very pretty. And I say that with all due respect. And I think a lot of Warriors supporters would probably agree with that. So they're not necessarily the aggressive, well, they are an aggressive forward pack or flashy team, but in terms of line speed and dominating tackles, they are absolutely that. In those effort areas, the Warriors have been absolutely killing it. That is why they're finding themselves where they are on the ladder at the moment. So again, talking about that line speed, when it's pinning the ball carrier, the opposition ball carrier, and they just generate that line speed and they control the ruck very, very well. And we'll get to some players shortly in the forward pack who absolutely do that. So yeah, they're not really an explosive or unpredictable kind of team. They're just one of those teams that know their process. They know the kind of team they are, much like I say about the Raiders. They know what they are. They're very well coached, and Andrew Webster picks those players week in, week out. He might forego players that are a bit more X factor, a bit more flashy, for guys that come in and play that brand of football, that won't turn over the ball cheaply. That bring that line speed and that connectiveness in defense. That's what Andrew Webster's looking for. So this week, don't think you're going to come and see a really flashy attacking brand of football from the Warriors. You're not going to get that and that's what we've seen from seasons past. But don't get me wrong, they still got some strike out there. It's not like they cannot score points, but it's just that real possession-based game plan that they got. They're going to, as I said, they just want to turn the ball over and make life hard for their opposition, and that comes through dominating the middle. That brings me to the very next, or not the very next, we're going to get to the backs first. But yes, I just want to really ram home that point. The fact that they're sitting so high, they're sitting first in the competition for possession and completion is insane. So Andrew Webster, as I said, absolute, he mightn't have the team that he necessarily wants as far as strike, but he's leaning into this strength, and that brand of football is clearly paying off for him. So they're going to keep doubling down on that. And the fact that they've had, big injuries, Luke Metcalf, Mitchie Barnett, Chance Nickel-Clockstag, these sort of guys, the fact they keep turning up, and they lost some big names, haven't they? Like Shawnee Johnson, Torhu Harris, absolute weapons leaders. Fanua Blake, I know they got James Fisher-Harris in, but kudos to them. The fact that they've lost so many guys, whether it's retirement or injury, and they're playing this brand of football is fucking absolutely sensational. But anyways, let's move to the outside backs, because I think this is where we got them about. Let's kick it off with our boy Dominic Young, last week's Nightanian Forwards Player of the Week, with Fletcher Hunt parked up on that right edge with Bradman Best and G-Train, Greggy Marzu, making no stops until he reaches McDonald Jones Station, with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Adam Pompey, with Kurt Capewell coming in for the injured Rocco Berry with a shoulder injury. I believe that's the only change in the team from last week's win against the West Tigers, and Dallin Watene-Zalesniak on the wing also for the Warriors. Now, I do feel like if both these back lines play to the best of their ability, we got their number. I really do. And I think the Warriors supporters, I've been glazing yous, but I tell you what, I really do feel like they all think, shit, if this Knights back line starts to click, yeah, look out. Dominic Young, He had an absolutely sensational game last week. And I tell you what we need to see. And I'm surprised I didn't bring this up last week. Why aren't we shaping to put high balls over towards this edge with Dominic Young and Fletcher Hunt? You got not only a bloke that's 6'6", and you got another guy who could leap. One of the greatest aerial threats we've seen in a long time. Doesn't matter. Either one of those two guys, kick it high to them. It's going to be points. It's going to be points. So let's hope Jacko and or Cogs, let's start kicking that way. We love the aerial threat. Let's lean into that a little bit more. Brady Best. What more can we say about Bramman Best? Ever since he come back from injury, he has absolutely been dominating. I think it was 10 tackle breaks last week. Yeah, he's just having a real red hot run of form. Greggy Marzu, mixed bag last week. I saw a lot of criticism regarding Greg Marzu last week. Certainly having issues under the high ball. Don't know how much more we can really address that. Let's hope Andrew Webster doesn't exploit that like Craig Bellamy did last week. But yeah, we know what we're going to get with those tough carries out of his own end. But don't get me wrong, talking about the Warriors backline though, RTS, battle injury this season, but let's be honest, when this guy is on, he is all class. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, absolute weapon out there. Adam Pompey, again, pretty solid season without being like, crazy, sort of impressive there. But look, I feel like, as I was saying before, I feel like if we start attacking really well and the back line starts to click, I think we got their number. This is where we do have their number. And now one thing also with the Warriors, they have the most disproportionate edge that leaks points in the competition. And what I mean by that is their right edge leaks 63% of their points. Well, try scored, should I say. 35 of 56 points try scored this season have all been on that right edge, which plays into our hand once more like the Storm. 53% of our tries come along our lethal left edge. Let's lean into that. So let's hope G-Train, Brady Best get some quality ball and they can wreak some havoc, because it looks like an area that if there's a chink in the armor, it's certainly that right edge for the Wars there. So let's look to exploit that a little bit, shall we? All right, let's move along to the forwards for the Newcastle Knights. Our boy, Try Pierce Paul, Brodie Jones. Brodie Jones actually named second row, vacated obviously by Dylan Lucas, who's been ruled out for the season with a Liz Frank injury. Comment away what you think of that. Get to that shortly. Leo Thompson and Jacob Saifidi, once more starting props. And Phoenix Crossland, I think we all love this. Back in that 13 jersey. We all loving what we're seeing there from Phoenix Crossland. So good to see him back there. For the Wars, we have Lika Halasima, Narada Nirakore in the second row with James Fisher-Harris, Jackson Ford, and Aaron Clark rounding out the forward pack for the Wars. Brodie Jones, Mr. Nitanium, finds himself at second row. Found this very perplexing. Very perplexing. I would have thought Jermaine McKinnon, and it could be a late shift. It could be a little bit of mind games. We could ultimately see a late switch. So, don't get married to this idea that this might be the case. But Jermaine McKinnon or I should say Tyson Frizzell. Tyson Frizzell's done a job on an edge for years. I'd like to see either one of those two probably come in. I think Brodie's best position is in the middle. I don't like the idea of him on the edge. So I'm thinking the more and more I talk about it, surely we're going to get a late change. Surely Adam O'Brien's playing a little bit of mind games here with Andrew Webster and Jermaine McKinnon, because he brings X factor. I think we'd all like to see him just get an 80-minute start there, start developing him. I think we all think he's that front runner to get Kai Pearce-Paul's job next year when he leaves to the West Tigers. So keep an eye out for that. But let's do it. Let's jump into this week's battle player matchup. And this is where the battle is going to be won or lost. And it's going to be with the big boys in the middle. Our boy Jacob Saifidi up against James Fisher-Harris for the Warriors. Now, James Fisher-Harris, what an absolute pickup for the New Zealand Warriors. Leader of the pack, brought that Penrith grit in an immediate impact to the club. Always leads with intent, even in the absence of Mitch Barnett. Mitch Barnett, an absolute dog. We know. We love Mitch Barnett. We wish we never lost Mitch Barnett. Absolute enforcer. Again, just goes to show you how integral James Fisher-Harris has been to this team without the other big alpha dog in the pack, and they still keep going. So let's hope. Put it this way. If we are any chance of winning this game against this Warriors team, knowing how they want to play and dominating the ruck and controlling the ruck, Jacob Saifidi has to be one of the best players on the field. He has to be the best forward on the field. He's got to lead by example. It's got to come down to this. If whoever has the better game out of these two, I think ultimately wins the game. I think that's where it's going to be won or lost for me this week. Jacob Seifert, we know it's got it in him before he, I think it was a couple of weeks coming back from that calf injury. He was putting up some huge numbers. I think he had 2 games there, 200-plus run meter games. He's got it in him. Representative level player. It's always been that consistency thing with Jacob. But yeah, he can absolutely take it to James Fisher-Harris, which isn't a small job. James Fisher-Harris, a fucking nightmare fuel, absolute nightmare fuel. When Jacob generally plays pretty well, Leo plays really well at the back of that. Leo, I thought, was pretty solid last week. I feel like if Jacob can take it to that level, Leo can go with him. It'll go a long, long way for us to controlling the ruck and disrupting the Warriors' game plan. Not wanting to play into their hands, really meet them there and dominate them through the middle, and that'll upset them a bit because we've got the flash, I think, to get on the momentum off the back of that, and that'll really go a long way to disrupt what the Warriors ultimately want to do for the night. So that's my player battle matchup this week. Look out for that one. All right, let's move along. Also, too, for the Warriors, Jackson Ford, too, potentially a late switch. I think last week Adam Webster did a switcheroo with him as well. Maybe Niakora came on the into the front row. I can't remember, but it could be a little late switch there. And Aaron Clark, too. Shout out to Aaron Clark. I think he's another one of these players that's developed really well under the Andrew Webster regime as well. So coming across from the Titans. Yes, all right, let's move along to the bench for the Newcastle Knights. Tyson Gamble. Tyson Gamble will make his 5th NRL appearance for 2025, coming off the bench in number 14 jersey this week with Matty Croker, Tyson Frizzell, and Jermaine McKeown. And moving along to the Wars, we have Tamari Martin in the 14 jersey, Mr. Versatility there, Jacob Laban, Dimitri Vemorga, and Tanner Stower-Smith. Do you remember Tanner Stower-Smith, Lou? Bit of the running joke that we had with Tanner.
I can't remember, sorry.
He was Cyrus the Virus, Mr. Con Air.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So he's had like a complete 180. He had the last time I saw his team photo, he had a big old smile on his face. But geez, that first one, holy shit, he looked like a fucking goddamn serial killer. Give me chills. Whew. Wouldn't want to run up against that man. But Tyson Gamble. Keen to see what we're going to get from Tyson. It might be this end of the season when we're going, you know what, let's just bring a bit of enthusiasm. We know what Tyson's about. Super competitive guy, loves getting in the mix. Haven't kept an eye on his cup games, coming away if you've been keeping an eye on what he's been doing in cup. He's obviously been doing okay for him to get a call up here. Going to be interested to see what the rotation's going to be. I don't know, thinking out loud, where he comes on and what he's going to do. If Brayley's, you would assume, is going to play the 80 minutes. I can't see why they wouldn't, because he was doing that before and he was doing it pretty well, I thought. Interesting. Yes, I've got no answers for you there on how they're going to play, how and where they're going to play Tyson Gamble. Jermaine McKeown, as we spoke about before, real X factor. I think this is a guy that's building his confidence really, really nicely. He's going to be featuring in the Knights system for a long time. I think we all feel it in our bones. He's going to be featuring a part of the Newcastle Knights for a long time. So let's see his development continue. And as I said earlier about the Wars, Tamari Martin, just goes to show that the depth that the Warriors have in their roster. The fact that they've got a guy like this plugging, does multiple jobs. Tamari Martin. But so there you go, battlers. That rounds out the team list for the Knights and the Warriors. And again, circling back, the Warriors, I don't think they're going to be playing a very pretty brand of football. Andrew Webster's really drawn them. They're a very disciplined team, and they're going to just, grindy, very grindy, possession-based. Yeah, not going to want to turn cheap, cheap turnovers or anything like that. Get the error count down, win that possession battle, and just starve you of opportunities, and they're just going to pounce off the back of that. So, yes. All right, let's move along, shall we, to Lock It In, brought to you by Grain-Fed Brewery, the beer brewed tough, just like your game day calls. Whether you're backing the boys for a big win or predicting a masterclass from your favorite player, make sure you have a cold grain-fed in hand. Bold flavors, bold predictions, lock it in with Grain-Fed. All right, kicking off this week, I've got the left edge absolutely lighting up, as I was saying before, a very disproportionate amount of tries, the most disproportionate, should I say, in the NRL, with the Warriors leaking 63% of their tries along their right edge. That plays right into our left edge, who's been scoring the most for us. Greggy Marzu, Bradman Best, they're both going to score tries this week. The Knights, they're going to win the possession battle, 52%. That 2% difference mightn't sound a lot, but in rugby league terms, it's a fucking hell of a lot. So we're going to win that possession battle. JSAP's going to get the edge over James Fisher-Harris. We're going to win that. It's going to go a long, long way. In order for us to do that, we're going to at least have to complete at a minimum of 80%. So I've got 75 to 80, but let's be honest, it's going to have to be over 80. It's going to have to be over 80. I've got the Knights to score first, back home, Miners jersey. The crowd's going to be going wild. I think we're all just looking forward to watching some football. No more headlines. Crowd's going to get around it. Got the Knights winning 1-12. I don't think we're going to be blowing this Warriors team off the park like they did to us on Anzac Day. But shout out to you guys. One of the great games I ever went to. Huge party over there. Everyone was so gracious. Love you, WA supporters. But I feel like we're going to get you 1-12. Do or die game. Backs against the wall. You guys are top four. Just give us this one. Just give us this one. You know, we didn't get a win. We wore those sexy Anzac Day jerseys, and you beat us over there. I know you threw a party for us and all the good stuff, but can we just have this one? Can we just have this one? Hook
We're
your
all
balls.
friends here.
We're all friends. Come on. Come on. Whoever you play next week, just go beat the shit out of them. Go pound the shit out of them. Take a week off, boys. Take a week off. Anyways, they're my lock-it-ins for this week. Lou, the Battler sent any of their lock-it-ins?
We've got one from Christopher.
Christopher, what do you got, big dog? All right. Got a couple of wingers here with Dominic Young for an anytime try scorer, mate. If he brings that form from last week, absolutely. Scintillating form, hopefully continues heading into this week. Dallin Wateni-Zalesniak also for a try. Knights to make 370, 380 tackles. Was to make 1,800 to 1,900 meters. Oh, Christopher. Was win both halves. Was 13 plus. Oh, Christopher, usually I inspire even the most pessimistic people to come around. But, mate, it's your lock it in, mate. Live by the sword, die by the sword, pal. That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. You don't have to agree with me, mate. You don't have to agree with me. All right, we've got some others here. I've got some in the Discord if we don't have any.
There's the one from James. Best try, surely for his hundreds.
Would it be, is it 100 NRL games? No, that can't be right. Or 100 tries for his 100th. It's not his fucking 100th birthday. What's his 100th? Did I miss that? Surely Brady's played more than 100 games. Or he wouldn't have scored 100 tries. I'm confused. Enlighten me, James. Enlighten me, mate. Pang, what do you got, big dog? Gags, man of the match. He could ultimately do it, mate. We all know he'll be inspired by the mining kit, hard work, and that's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. He's going to exemplify that. Brady Best, first try scorer. Love that too, mate. Yeah, he is playing some red-hot football at the moment. A Tyson Gamble 40-20. I like that. Something we haven't seen. Have we kicked one this year? Tyson got a really good boot on him. That's a good shout. We need that. How many times have we needed to turn the tide with a 40-20? Hasn't happened. If the Warriors play the way they want to play and starve us of a lot of possession and field position, we're going to need a 40-20 out of the bag, mate. So good shout. All right, Justin, what do you got, big dog? All right, Brady Best to score a hat-trick. Shit, yeah. Dominic Young, 2 tries. Holy dooly. 5 tries for the Newcastle Knights after absolutely being pounded in the headlines this week. Knights to make 550-plus kick meters. Was 65% possession. Holy shit. This will be, if we can win this game 1-12 and be the first to last to score after Waz with a 65% possession, that has to be a record, Justin. Records made to be broken, mate. If we play it, Andrew Webster would love, any coach would love 65% power, but we can pull it off, mate. Who knows? Believe it or not, strange things have happened in rugby league. There you go. Very good, Battlers. Very, very good. All right.
Sorry, James just said, sorry, I thought it was his 100th.
100th game.
Yeah, he said, sorry, he thought it was.
That's just, yeah, anyways. Very good.
Tony said Gamble has done a 40-20.
Gamble has. There you go. You got a better memory than me, Tony. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, battlers, let's do it. Let's answer some of your burning questions brought to you by our good mates at Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training. You work in a business, chances are you are probably not prepared for fire and or emergency. So make sure you get in contact with Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training for your training, plans, procedures. All the way up and down the coast, Queensland, New South Wales, Western Australia, doesn't matter where you are, they'll go there. They'll get your staff trained up. Because if you do not learn, battlers, you will earn. All right, what do we got? What fires am I putting out this week, Luke?
All right, not sure how much you can say because I don't want you to get in trouble, but Matthew's asked, how's the Rugby League 26 game?
Really good, mate. Now, look, I haven't played the current one for a while, but shout out to Winston Neville. I think he's got over 3,000 hours.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, a massive amount of time he spent. Now, I spent a lot of time with him. He was actually sitting next to me while we were both playing it. If anyone knows, it's this guy. I enjoyed it, but I was asking him a lot as an absolute guru on the current Rugby League Live 4. He's like, mate, absolutely an upgrade. Feels smoother. Ultimately, the graphics, players' faces, everything is a massive, massive upgrade. It's been so long overdue. He was very, very impressed with it. I was impressed with the guy that sunk 3,000 hours into a game. Who better to ask? And he gave it a resounding thumbs up, man. He cannot wait. He'll be absolute. What's it? Less than 12 hours away until it officially drops and you can go get your hands on it. I don't think he'll be sleeping tonight, old Winston. But yeah, so no, absolutely, mate. It's good. And the guys at Big Ant Studio, great bunch of blokes there that I met, put a lot of time and effort into it. So yeah, finally good. How good is it? We're getting another rugby league game. Shout out to Freddie Fittler coming in. And I don't think he recognised Guru too, which was a bit awkward. That was yeah. Sorry, Guru.
Sorry, we have just been updated that it is his 100th game.
Is it? There you go. Just looked it up. Yeah, Brady's 100th. Oh, shout out to you, Brady. And also, I forgot to mention too last week. Shout out to Brady, and his beautiful partner there. Got the gender reveal. Little girl, little Brady Best girl coming our way. Miss Best. So yeah, shout out to you guys. All right, what do we got? Hit me with it, Lou.
Sorry, but help if I turn the volume up. Paul's asked, what's the update with Lock It In?
Mate, I'm so sorry. I've been absolutely swamped. I'm going to get there. You're going to get an update. I'm almost... you let me know. Should it, like the Dally M votes, go dark a bit? Or do you feel like after... maybe I shouldn't actually. The more I think about it, because you want to make some Hail Mary plays if you're coming towards the arse end. You're going to get the updates, mate. I'm sorry. I've been absolutely kicked pillar to post of late. You're going to get your Lock It Up leaderboard very, very shortly, dude. Shout out to you, Joanne. Joanne has been an absolute blessing behind the scenes for us. Truly, Joe. Helping me out immensely getting those ballots in for me.
Daniel's asked, when will we be finished rebuilding the Knights? It's like painting the fucking Sydney Harbour Bridge. Got to restart as soon as you finish.
Yeah, Daniel, mate, look, as a kid, the roster's not bad. I know there's some holes to fill. The forward pack is something that needs to be addressed. And, that's the glaringly obvious thing, Peter O'Sullivan's really trying to look for. We've signed young Lockie Crouch. The official news dropped with Peter Holler being signing from Q Cup. Pasami Solo, or as Lou likes to call him, Pastrami Solo, is coming back to the club.
That was Kurt.
No, you said it. Anyways, yeah, there's some good pieces there. There really is. Like the back, put it this way, back line looks slick. Full back at the moment, awesome. Back rowers, unfortunately Kai's leaving. Would have loved Kai to stay, but Jermaine McKinnon looks like he's got a very high ceiling on him. So he's a guy we can develop there. So those positions are covered. It's just a couple of spine. The spine I think will sort itself out with Fletch and obviously Dill Brown. Forward pack is the thing. I don't think it needs a full rebuild, man. I think there's a really good team there. It's just the blueprint and attack. The attacking system just has not worked this year. We just have not had. We haven't utilised our strengths at all. We don't play into our strengths anywhere near enough. I think that's, as the season unfolds, a lot more people are seeing that. And the good games we do play, we do lean into it. While we go away from it and don't feel confident in it, we can only speculate. We're not in those four walls, but I don't think it's like a case of, like other clubs where we're blowing up the whole team. The whole thing just needs a massive reset on it. I think there'd be, potential coaches out there that would love this roster. I think the Knights are still a really good landing place. They don't have to overhaul the whole thing, especially the way we've leaned into more juniors. I think we've all been screaming that, all us Knights supporters, for a long time, getting that junior nursery going, and that's starting to bear some fruit now. So I wouldn't be too pessimistic, mate. I don't think we're ways off. I think I know results say a lot, and we'd love to be in the 8 and all that sort of stuff. But a couple of pieces fall our way, mate. We're not far off the mark. I feel.
Adams asked, what do you think about the news of Dylan Brown saying no to joining the Knights early? Honestly, I don't think it's all bad. Bloke wants to finish his contract for the club that gave him a chance for a proper goodbye.
Yeah, now look, mate, I have regular contact with his management now, and they just want to tell me direct and on the record, so there's no speculation. They're sick and tired of the media twisting their narrative to fit their needs. So I can tell you now that Dill really wanted, as much as we'd love to have him right here, right now, and he's going to be here for a long time. And even I was like, cool. The earlier he gets here, the better, because we can just start developing him, get him in the building and the rest of it. But he's got some, I think it's his stepdaughter still in school, some other bits and pieces going on down there in Sydney. And he just felt like, you know what, I just want a nice, fresh, clean start. And, there's nothing wrong with that too. I think it's the media obviously being way too harsh about this. This whole, it's complete and utter bullshit too. I got confirmed that he was disgruntled at the Eels because now, he was playing hooker and then lock and then on the bench, and now he's 18th man. That's complete and utter crap. Don't buy into that whatsoever. He just wants to come in, start at preseason, and get the ball rolling. Because, the downside would be also, if he did come, how much scrutiny and the eyes on him, and how we'd be almost looked as, he's got to be the saviour for the Knights this season, which is really unfair also. So, mate, don't look into it too much. He's coming. He's going to be a part of the Newcastle Knights for a long, long time. The bulk of his professional career, he will be a Newcastle Knight. When he gets in the building, mate, guarantee you he'll be hard at work with the boys in a really good preseason, mate. So don't look into it too much. I'm telling you now, mate.
Brett's asked, Link, off the track a bit, but I saw a report that Alex McKinnon had to pay his ticket to get in to watch the Knights vs Storm. Do you know if that's true?
He actually came out and said that, didn't he? What did you send me, Lou? I feel like we should actually read out what he sent. How did you send that to me? Did you send me that via Messenger or what? How did you do that? Let's say now. Look, I feel like it's important. This is, and Alex posted this. So, in short, I wasn't personally upset by the weekend's events. If anything, I found the irony of it being against the Storm a bit funny. It felt like it was a missed opportunity to connect with the Storm and back a great cause, raising funds and awareness for those living with spinal cord injuries. Dave and Kath from the Stronger Together Foundation are incredible people. I caught up with them on Thursday and knew their charity was the match day partner. They kindly asked me to be involved, but I had other commitments, but I fully support them from afar. What disappointed my family, and many who know reached out, was the club's lack of communication and awareness. In my view, not reaching out beforehand was an insensitive oversight. As for tickets, I regularly buy them for my family to sit on the hill. I have for years. I love the game day experience and sharing it with my kids. I'm a fan. Look, it's not a great. I don't know whether it's just anything to do with the Knights at the moment. They're just fucking doubling down on us. It is. I find it a bit odd he would have to pay for his own ticket. Let's be honest. I think there was a lot of ex-players going,
On 360, Gordon Tellis said he has tickets to Broncos for life.
Yeah.
Broncos have a certain degree of how long they've played for, what they get tickets for, he was saying.
Oh, what, like if you play X amount of games, you get
so many tickets for the year.
Well, that's not a bad system. I was a bit shocked. If anyone would ask you, do you think Alex McKinnon has to pay for tickets? You'd think, oh, no. But yeah, I don't know. Clearly, he's not too upset about the other stuff that happened. I guess other people are trying to connect the dots and trying to make a bit more of a story out of it. The optics don't look great, but the main thing is Alex isn't too upset about it all. And he's doing great works for other people by looks and supporting the foundation that was being supported on the day. But yeah, let's hope it's something the club's learned from and we don't make that mistake again. Hey.
So Pangs asked, I wonder what would be the pros and cons of a Gamble Crossland half combo. Do you think either would make good captain?
Gamble Crossland combo. I think Crossland would make a great captain. He is kind of like the Newcastle Knights captain of old. Tough as nails, get in the trenches. A bloke that would stick his head somewhere you wouldn't even stick your foot in, kind of guy. You go to war with Phoenix Crossland. He's that kind of cat. A bit old school in that regard. I don't know, man. The more I'm seeing of Phoenix Crossland, I think we all really liked his development, that breakout 23-year coming in and do this fantastic job at dummy half. And then ultimately progressing into 13 jersey. I think that's going to be his spot. I think he looks really good. Great defensively, a great defensive player, real good intent and line speed, great link man. So he's obviously got a little bit of ball playing about him. Still got a really clutch kicking game about him. Remember that Seagulls game? Who's the bloke who put up that one of those kicks there in that game? I would keep him there at lock. I think that's going to be his preferred position moving forward, dude. Gamble, I don't know. I think Gamble now will find himself in this roster as like a backup guy. I don't think, and I say with that all due respect, are you going to win a premiership with Tyson Gamble as your half week in, week out? I know he was a part of that sensational 10-game winning streak. But, the big occasion got to him when we really needed a lot of players fell off on that Warriors game. I'm not just squarely blaming it on Tyson at all, but yeah, again, a really competitive type player. I think 14 jersey is probably Tyson's best go, mate, to be honest. Whenever we have given him his opportunities, you can't say you really grabbed him with both hands, but yeah.
Adams asked, should we go after DCE?
Nah, I don't think so, dude. Be interesting. Price. Everything comes down to price. If you got him for a really, really good price, yes. But yeah, I don't, mate, to be honest, again, Fletcher Sharp's going to be my 7. I'm still waiting. My DM's open. No one's DM me or shot me any compelling argument to say why he can't be a 7 yet. Still waiting.
Last one from Justin. Not a question, just hit that he bought a PS5 Pro today so he can play the game tomorrow.
Look at you go, Justin, hey? What an excuse to go buy a PlayStation, pal. Very good. I've got to dust mine off. I bought it. I played Space Marines for a bit over the Christmas holidays, and I'm that fucking flat out, dude. I don't get a chance to. So now that the Rugby League 26 game's out, it gives me a reason and an excuse to tell the wife I'm going to go do some content and play some PlayStation. Hey? Yep.
I'll be playing Tony Hawk, so I'll be happy, actually.
You're going to be streaming some Tony Hawk, are you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, good on you guys. Good on you. All right. Well, huge shout out again to the sponsor for this show, ABC Developments. Support the sponsors that support us. Again, without these guys, we can't continue to put on the shows we do. So massive shout out to those guys. And if you can, make sure you like, subscribe, all Knighted, what do you call it? On whatever platform you're on, go
You're
find us.
Just thinking about playing the game.
I am now. You've got it in my brain now, Justin. Yes, if you're watching the live stream, please give it a thumbs up. It truly takes less than a second. It goes a long, long way to get it out to more and more battlers out there who might be struggling. They might need our help, battlers. Help them. Don't help me. Help them. All right? And give it a big old 5-star review wherever you listen to the podcast. It goes a long, long way. Again, huge shout out to the winner of the giveaway. Get in contact with me, and then I'll get that prize out to you ASAP. But yes, battlers, that'll do us for this week's roster review. I'll be doing a night's watch. Don't know yet if I'm going to do like an ultra mega huge NRLW backing into the NRL, NRL and the NRLW. I'm not too sure how I'm going to do all this yet because it is Sunday. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing the match review show on Sunday. I'll have to push it to Monday. Don't know yet. So much up in the air. And yes, the NRLW show is still coming your way, guys. I've just been absolutely swamped with Origin duty stuff and streams and
weddings,
flying down to NRL HQ. I've got plenty of excuses, but it is coming. We've had so much on our plate lately. But yes, battlers, until the Night's Watch on Sunday, I'm getting the Adam OBrien out of here. See you then.